If you've ever thought that you need an accounting degree or that AI is replacing everyone, you are not alone. These are some of the biggest bookkeeping myths I continue to hear even in 2025, and they may just be holding you back from starting a business that you'll love. So today, let me help you to break them down one by one. Let's start with myth number one. Bookkeeping is just data entry. I had a client once tell me, why should I pay a bookkeeper? Doesn't QuickBooks just automatically enter all my transactions? Don't I just hit a couple of buttons and it automatically does it all? And honestly, I get it. With all that tech that exists today, it may appear like all they have to do is enter a few numbers and the software will automatically calculate and report everything for you. It looks like bookkeeping is just entering numbers into a software. But the truth is that bookkeeping is more like detective work. You're cleaning up messy books, finding patterns, correcting mistakes, and then translating it all into a nice, clear story that you can then communicate to your client that your client can now understand and use to make business decisions. And you get to deliver the news to your client of how the business performed, whether it's for the month, year to date, for the quarter of a quarter, whatever. You get to deliver that performance review. QuickBooks or whatever software you're using to record these transactions and report the financial performance. Yes, QuickBooks might report what you tell it, but the system doesn't know if it's accurate, if it's compliant, or if it's even logical. You bring the strategy, you bring the judgment, you bring the value. So no, bookkeeping is not just data entry. And if you're doing it right, I suspect that you already know that. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Veronica Sagastumi, and this is the Bookkeeping Shop. I help bookkeepers and professionals build profitable, flexible businesses they actually enjoy running, whether you're working from home or on the go. In this channel, we share tips, behind the scenes strategies, hacks to simplify or to save you time. I also share my insights, my experience, and I answer a lot of your questions. All of it to make your journey a lot easier. Now, let's keep going. On to myth number two. AI will replace everyone and everything. I recently put this myth to the test. Literally, I took a client's transaction and using 3 different methods, I asked it to categorize a $6,000 equipment transaction. Here's what I got. One of the transactions I gave it was clearly an office equipment $6,000 transaction, but AI categorized it as an office supply. Another one flagged rent as entertainment. Yikes. Look, AI is powerful. I use it every single day, especially with repetitive tasks in areas that can save me time because I can automate to streamline. But to think that AI will replace bookkeepers and bookkeeping entirely? No way, not a chance. AI doesn't know context. It cannot have a strategic conversation with your client. AI definitely won't listen to your client's goals, provide them with some insight, recommendations, suggestions, real life examples of how to improve their business or how to tackle an issue or a challenge. And AI can't review a transaction and determine that it made a mistake and then proceed to correct it. Here's the opportunity as I see it. Bookkeepers who embrace the tech and use it to level up their service, those bookkeepers are not going to be replaced. Those bookkeepers will be rewarded. Oh boy. This next myth is something that I've heard for years, and I'm still hearing this myth today, even though there's plenty of evidence to show that this is not needed in order to start your bookkeeping business today. If you're enjoying today's video, then perhaps you'd consider joining my free newsletter, The Bookkeeping Insider, where I share even more behind the scenes stuff, plus exclusive offers and promotions that can hopefully help you in your journey. Now let's get back to today's video. That leads us to myth number 3. You need an accounting degree to start a bookkeeping business or any business. I can't tell you how many people tell me, I want to be a bookkeeper or I want to start a bookkeeping business, but I don't have an accounting degree, or I haven't studied any accounting, or I didn't go to school to study accounting. A version of that statement. My response to that is usually to say, you do not need an accounting degree to start a bookkeeping business. Now, if you want to pursue an accounting profession, and especially certain areas of accounting, you may need higher level education in certain specific areas. I personally have an accounting degree. I got one many, many years ago and have used it throughout my career. But even in that career that I have held, especially when I was in corporate America for 20 years, I hired, trained, worked with, and rehired many, many bookkeepers who'd never got their accounting degree. They didn't need it because experience trumped the degree. And in some cases, even some of the accountants that I got to work with, they had a degree in other things like music, history, English. Very few of them had an advanced degree in accounting or finance, but they were still able to learn that skill set and improve it and elevate it so that their experience trumped that original degree. In 2025, results matter so much more than your resume and degree certifications. Experience counts for a lot. Some of the most successful bookkeepers that I know personally started with zero formal background. What they did have was curiosity, a willingness to learn, and this fearlessness to take action, regardless of how long it took or how hard it was, just putting one foot in front of the other. So if you're waiting for a certificate or a degree to help you feel legit, here is your permission slip. Because you don't need a degree, you just need to make a decision. Okay, are we ready for myth number 4? Bookkeepers don't make great money. Let me just get this out of the way right away. Bookkeepers can and do make great money. I personally left a corporate job. I was in corporate America for 20 years. I had an executive position at the time that I decided to leave corporate America. But even me starting my bookkeeping and accounting consulting business as a solopreneur back in the day, February of 2011 is when I actually started. Within a few years, I replaced my executive income and then some. The catch, you have to stop undercharging. That's a whole other video and other lesson that I can give. But pricing does matter. In the beginning, you may shortchange yourself, and that's okay. You want proof of concept, you want to get some experience, but don't stay in that pocket for too long. I know way too many people who went out and started their business, started with one fee, and stayed there for so many years before they even considered increasing their fees. You're in business to provide a service, and when you provide a service, you should be compensated at a really good rate, especially as you increase your skill set. Bookkeepers who pick a niche, like I talk about this in other videos, but when you specialize in an industry and you also select a software that you will know like the back of your hand, as you specialize, that's kind of like niching down, and you are providing a service for them and you know it like the back of your hand, and you can provide a lot of value and insight and recommendations, and you can perform the service at a much faster rate. Those are the bookkeepers that are able to charge a higher fee. Not only do you hone in your specialty, in that industry, but you are also going to be able to provide so much more value, right? Because now you can be a true partner to that business owner. And when you become a partner or part of their team, as we in my business, Fortified Accounting, we become their partner, and we position ourselves by how we speak to them, not just checking in regularly, but giving them weekly updates or letting them know what's coming up or something that we can think about that would be an improvement for their business. We become part of their team to grow their business. And when you become part of their team, you are their partner. You're not just this bookkeeper who is just going to be doing some transactional area. That's how you make yourself more valuable, a partner, part of their team, and you can charge a higher fee. You are no longer just keeping the books. You are helping that business to stay alive, stay profitable, and allow the business owners to know that they are in great hands, in your hands, and be able to sleep at night with a lot more confidence and peacefulness. You're not just there to crunch the numbers. You are there to help their business succeed. That role that you will play in their business is very valuable, and it is worth charging for. Oh my gosh, I think we're up to myth number 5. Are you ready? Number 5. It's too late to start a bookkeeping business in 2025. What? That can't be right. I hear this all the time. Isn't it too crowded now? Aren't there just so way too many bookkeepers or bookkeeping businesses? Nope. One of my clients started her bookkeeping business last year at the age of 58. No social media presence, no website, but she had a network. And her network was comprised of friends, family members, colleagues, people that she had done charity events with, parents from schools of her kids that are all grown now, but she kept in touch with, or, just places where she volunteered and was very much a member of the community. And she had a career. She had a great reputation, many colleagues, people that she considered business friends or work friends. And even though she didn't have all those other things like no media presence, the social media, no website, anything like that, what she did have was a willingness to learn, a willingness to put herself out there and be uncomfortable, as well as the curiosity factor. Curious about learning a new area, a new industry, a new tool, new tech, not being fearful of it. Instead, she reminded herself of all those things that she had to figure out. She didn't know how to work it out in the beginning, but then what did she do? She became very resourceful, and not only would she look up how to do something, she would also think, who do I know who can help me figure this out? That attitude helped her so much last year. I'm just so excited for her and so proud of her, because it is not easy, to go into your second or even third act in your life, in your career. And I'm happy to share with you that 6 months into her new journey, she had 4 recurring clients. They all joined her at different times. She just added her first one, got comfortable, added the second, the third, and the fourth. And at the fourth one, she decided, let me stay here. Let me figure things out. Let me streamline, automate, and get better with how I deliver the service and how I perform certain things using these tools. And then she had a great attitude, and she did what I asked her to do. She followed the steps. She followed the checklist. She checked things off. She took her time and decided that she was going to run her own race, that she wasn't going to try to keep up with everyone and everything that was around her, that she was just going to go at her own pace that felt good for her, that felt good to her. All right, look, there are businesses opening up every single day. And those businesses, whether they're brand spanking new or they're in an accelerated growth stage, they get to a point where they're busy building a business, growing a business. They don't want to do their own books. That's where you come in. That's where your services come in. They are looking for someone who's going to be part of their team, that's going to alleviate that burden, that's going to allow them to have peace of mind that their books are being well taken care of. And with more businesses going remote or being remote, the need for the remote bookkeeper is higher than ever. The need is only growing. So no, it is not too late to start your bookkeeping business. In fact, I want you to consider that it just may be the perfect time. If you are liking this video, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have any questions about the material that I've just shared with you, be sure to leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. Now, let's do a quick recap. Bookkeeping is not just data entry. AI is not going to replace you. You don't need a degree to start. You can make great money. And it is definitely not too late to start your bookkeeping business. These myths, they're just white noise, and I need you to stop listening to that white noise. You don't have to listen anymore. So my friend, if you're curious about starting, running, and growing a profitable bookkeeping business in 2025, be sure to watch the next video that shows up on your screen. Until next time, I'm Veronica. Bye for now.